What's up, everyone? Welcome back to a Conclave of Wind heroic guide. We're going to start off with the positioning. At 75 energy, the bosses do an ultimate, which causes massive damage, so people need to swap platforms. We're going to have a tank and healer on Nazir's platform, a tank and healer and DPS, preferably AoE DPS on Anshel's platform, and two self-sustain DPS and a healer just in case on Rohash's platform. At 75 energy, before they cast their ultimate, you want to switch platforms, except for the healer on Rohash, which is going to soak the ultimate. They can do that with some sort of fall damage immunity. We had a Holy Paladin in our case, which is probably use Bop or Bubble to avoid that. So at 75 energy, you swap, and here's a quick sort of diagram of how that swap should look like. And once you swap, you sort of stay on that platform, and hopefully you have enough DPS to get a kill within one swap. But if you don't, you sort of want to relegate DPS to different platforms to make sure you get the kill and even out DPS as the bosses die. You have 60 seconds to kill the boss on each platform before they regen their health and reset the fight, essentially. So once you start whittling them down, make sure they die around the same time. Our kill order is preferably Anshel, Nazir, and then Rohash, but that can switch up depending on how much you guys are pumping, and you have to call that dynamically. Your rating should call that dynamically during the fight. Okay, so now I'm going to cover Anshel's platform, which is arguably the hardest platform. I want to pull him to a corner and then kite him towards the jump platform towards Nazir. What I'm going to do here is wait for his Soothing Breeze cast, which is the healing circle he puts on the ground that heals him, and sort of preemptively move so I can drag him out. The most dangerous part of this platform is when he casts his ads or spawns his ads. What the ads do is sort of, they put a stacking debuff on you that can just blow you up. The best way to do that is to just kite them away. I pop a D&D glyph into it, so it does a little more damage, causes a little more threat. And when they spawn, I also use Chains of Ice, Taunt, and Grip to make sure they don't get onto my range. And you can see I'm using Blood Boil to get some aggro. And I'm going to kite him towards almost towards the jump platform for Nazir. And that's pretty much it. If you can manage this part of the transition, it should be a easy encounter for Anshel. But this is probably the hardest part, where the damage can be quite high. So you see the boss is nearing 75 energy, and I call for the rate to jump. I kind of want people to go first, but it depends on what classes go. Over here, Nazir's going to cast a frontal, and as soon as I get aggro, I want to face him away from the platform so that anyone that's flying through doesn't get hit by the frontal, and that could be quite hard. When he is about to cast his ultimate, we pop Hero or Lust, in this case Time Warp, and we sort of blast him. We kind of want to stay stacked for heals because that's just a little better. And then at the end of his ultimate, he does a frontal again, so you might see that me sort of telling my warrior not to get in front of me, and he sort of almost gets hit, but he pulls through. And here Nazir casts Ice Patches, which is the hardest part of this, but it's not too hard, and a stacking debuff. The Ice Patches spawn on the players on the platform, so the way I want to position this is, because just in case I need to go back to Anshel's platform, is that I have our healer, which is my Holy Paladin, and myself sort of walk around the platform back towards Anshel, always facing the boss away from him, so he doesn't have to eat the frontal. And this is a great time for him to regen mana too. At this point, the DPS from Nazir's platform are going to go back to Anshel's platform to help DPS them down and make sure that we get a kill evenly. Again, the kill order is Anshel, Nazir, and then Rohash. And I'll speed things up a little bit so you can see what the kill looks like. This fight is primarily about coordinating DPS and positioning. Once you get that down, it's easy kill. The kiting for Anshel's platform can be tricky, but you guys should be able to figure that out. From trying to keep the frontal as clear as possible, that wasn't really a great job, but at 75 energy, I'm gonna the healer and I are gonna pop over, and we're gonna go and solo Anshel ourselves because he's quite low, and the rest of the DPS from platforms are gonna go to Nazir, except for Rohash until it's dead, but it is dead in this case, and they're gonna go to Nazir and get a kill as well. Over here, yeah, just make sure he's not standing in the soothing circles, which could cause wipe because he might getting some help back, which is not the case this time. But that's pretty much it. I hope you guys get the dub. Congrats on your win. Enjoy the loot. Onward to Alakir.
there loot over there? There's not loot over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's loot.
It's like male waste again, of course.
Doggy dog dog.
For real. Oh my
It's the
god.
castle.
man.